Hi guys, this is Suzette the Marriage Warrior, and today I'm going to give you some secrets from me as a marriage coach. My biggest secret is structure. Putting couples on a structure where they are committing to do things like issue night, committing to do things like adventure date night, committing to sexuality where there's both partners initiating sex, and then committing to 20 minutes a day. I call that patio time, to where they can actually sit down and talk uninterrupted and talk about what they're really emotionally feeling. My other secret is being able to teach you guys how to get in touch with your primary emotions rather than your secondary emotions. Secondary emotions are those that you can see. I can see that you're angry. I can see that you're frustrated. I can see that you're sad. I can see that you're depressed. But I do not see why you're feeling those secondary emotions. The primary emotions are the secrets behind the ones that I can see, those emotions that I can tell you're feeling. And those are your communicators. So when you're communicating how you really feel at a primary level, I feel abandoned, I feel rejected, I feel despair. Those are communicating emotions. And when I can get you guys as couples to communicate your own primary emotions to one another, they are going to move the communication dialogue further and further along between the two of you. The reason that is because they stop all the defensiveness, the defensive walls that come up. And they come up because A, there's interruption. You do not actively listen well enough. And learning how to really actively listen is another secret. I'll teach you that one in a second. But if you learn how to really actively listen and then communicate with primary emotions, then those emotions are going to help your partner understand what you're really feeling. And the defensive walls come up when we interrupt, and then when we try to talk about our defenses, why I'm doing what I'm doing that you're calling me out on. But whenever I can tell you, when you do such and such, it makes me feel. Now, your partner is going to immediately say, I can't be responsible for how you feel. And that is a true statement. But if you communicate that this is affecting you in a certain way, they may be open to change or at least look at the behavior that they're doing. And then it keeps the dialogue going on with communication. Now, remember, if you're a wife, it's very difficult to get most husbands to sit down and talk, especially if they're withdrawing. But really, it could be a wife or a husband. It's the withdrawer that's going to shut the conversations down, and you feel like you cannot communicate. And it's like, how do I get them to the table to communicate about what we're feeling? Now, if you can think about it like this, I want to talk about my issues with you, and I want to sit you down and I want to talk about them. Well, that person is already going to feel that you're disapproving of them. They're already going to feel inadequate. So it's like, why do I want to get beat up by that bat? That's how they feel. So they withdraw. So if you can communicate how it's affecting you, like when you do such and such, it's affecting me through this way, which is a primary emotion. By the way, you can go to Marriage Warrior Institute and get the primary emotion list that you can figure out the differences between primary and secondary emotions. Then they may be apt to listen to you because they may not want to hurt you the way that they're hurting you. So if you're looking at active listening skills, that's about slowing the communication down. It's about not wanting to be heard as much as it's wanting to understand the other person. And so if you can actively listen by simple skills like what I hear you saying, and then reframe it, ask them, did you get that right? Because you might not have. And you want an A+ on did I get that right? Because the did I get that right makes them feel heard. And you want them, when they're talking to you and you're in the active listener role, you want them to feel heard, because if they feel heard, they're going to feel validated. They're going to be much more open to have a conversation without the bat coming and beat them up. So if you say what I hear you saying and reframe it, step 1. Step 2, did I get that right? Make sure you get an A+ on that. If you don't get an A+, you get like a C-. C- look like, yeah, you kind of got that right. C- are not what you want. You want an A+, because the A+ gives you and them a relief feeling, which is the start of healing. And that's what you want. If there's an issue in your marriage, you're hurting, you're wounded, you need healing, and probably so does your partner. So when you get it right, A plus, it's like, yeah, that's right. That's right. It's like, they just got validated of the fact that they were heard by you. So you want that A plus. And then the third step is being able to validate them through you understand. So it's like, well, I can see how you could feel blank, and make sure you get a primary emotion to kind of reframe what they're telling you to slide into that blank. What I can see how you could feel blank, feeling word, primary emotion, feeling word, because. Now use the because that helps kind of broaden the story of your understanding of what they're saying. And sometimes it's because I would feel that way too, or because it's very understandable that you feel that way. It's just a validator. And then move on to your defense. And that's the time that you can defend yourself and why you need certain things, or why certain things are hurting you, etc. And then they may be more apt to listen because you were an active listener. Remember, it's the cycle that gets toxic between communicators. And if you can stop the cycle and intervene with anything, a primary emotion, the active listening skills, validation, and really trying to be heard and hear more than you want to be heard, then those are the things that change the cycle that's so toxic. I hope that helps you a little bit today. If you want more context, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later.